I try to get behind things that I think I could have. At least I can help bring attention to it. I can't change things. I'm not we're not a government, my wife and I. We try to get involved in things that we think we can, and we fail. I fail most often. Failed a lot in Darfur, failed a lot, quite honestly, but it's worth the journey. And I'm worried about the coarsening of America. I'm worried about how we celebrate unkindness.
You know what's become absolutely exhausting? The whole comedy politics circus we're trapped in these days. It's like we're stuck in this endless loop of manufactured outrage and celebrity takedowns, with everyone playing their assigned roles in this bizarre political theater. The latest episode, Trump and Clooney trading barbs like we're watching some low-budget reality show instead of discussing actual governance. Here we are, watching a former president of the United States frantically typing away on his knockoff social media platform. His own personal Truth Social, because Twitter gave him the boot. Think about that for a second. He's sitting there, presumably between bites of his beloved fast food, attacking George Clooney as a fake movie actor. The sheer absurdity of it all would be hilarious if it wasn't so painfully representative of how far our political discourse has fallen. And let's talk about this fake movie actor business. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. A reality TV star turned politician criticizing someone else's authenticity and entertainment. It's like watching a masterclass in projection, except there's nothing masterful about it. The whole thing reads like it was written by someone who just discovered insults, but hasn't quite figured out how they work yet.
I don't know if you've seen this, but he posted in July. So now fake movie actor George Clooney.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that movies are fake, does he?
I don't think so.
Clooney should get out of politics and go back to television. Movies never really work for him.
I will if he does.
Who never
Hannibal
came
Lecter
close
is his
to
guy.
making a great movie is getting into the act. He's turned on Crooked Joe like the rats they both are. What does Clooney know about anything?
What's even more frustrating is how this endless cycle of celebrity political feuds has completely hijacked any chance of serious political discussion. We're all supposed to sit here and laugh at the sick burns while real issues pile up unaddressed. Healthcare, climate change, economic inequality. Sorry, we're too busy watching the latest episode of former President tweets mean things about Hollywood star. The media's just as complicit in this whole circus. They're falling over themselves to report on these Truth Social, tantrums like they're breaking news. Every celebrity clapback gets treated like it's the Pentagon Papers, while actual investigative journalism gathers dust. We've turned political discourse into a never-ending episode of a bad reality show, complete with manufactured drama and predictable plot twists. Remember when political commentary had actual substance? When disagreements were about policy and not just personal insults? Now we're stuck in this weird limbo where a former president can't tell the difference between movies and reality, and we're all supposed to pretend this is normal. He literally questioned whether Clooney knows that movies are fake.
Have you thought about if Donald Trump wins? Have you thought about the possibility he might use the power of the federal government against you personally?
You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the one kid. You're that one kid, pal.
I'm the kid.
Yeah, I have, but I'm comforted in the fact that he's coming after you first.
That makes you feel better?
Yeah.
Let that sink in. This is the level of discourse we're dealing with in what's supposed to be the world's leading democracy. The most depressing part isn't even the juvenile nature of these exchanges. It's how we've normalized them. We've created this environment where meaningful political engagement has been replaced by this endless stream of celebrity feuds and social media spats. The cooning of America, as some have put it, isn't just about the celebration of unkindness. It's about the death of substance in our political discourse. And what about those platforms begging for likes and subscriptions in the middle of reporting these political spats? It's like watching democracy get transformed into a YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to smash that like button while we tell you about the collapse of political discourse. The commercialization of political commentary has turned everything into content designed not to inform or challenge, but to generate clicks and engagement. We're living in an era where political discourse has been reduced to the equivalent of a high school cafeteria fight, but with nuclear codes potentially at stake. The real tragedy isn't just that we're watching this happen, it's that we've become so desensitized to it that we barely even notice how absurd it all is anymore. MasterChef transform a McDonald's Happy Meal into a 5-star meal Meal is similar to that. Instead of simply choosing the high
Broadway debut, which I found kind of crazy that
It's pretty stupid.
you've never been on Broadway.
No, I've never. I did one play. I'd done a lot of plays in L.A.,
Right.
but I did one play at Steppenwolf about 30 years ago. It's been a long time.
Have you thought about writing an op-ed in the Times asking him to step down? Because it worked once. Why not try it again?
Yeah, he's a big fan of mine. You know, as time went on, it felt like maybe I should do it. And I have to say, I'm terrified and exciting. You know, we're going to live in New York for a while and try to not destroy Broadway alone.
When a former president's response to political criticism is to question whether an actor understands that movies aren't real, we should all be doing more than just laughing or rolling our eyes. We should be asking ourselves how we let our political discourse sink this low, and more importantly, how we can possibly elevate it back to something resembling actual democratic debate. The devolution of American political discourse continues to reach new depths of absurdity, with the latest Trump-Clooney exchange serving as a perfect microcosm of our current predicament. We're watching what amounts to a masterclass in the contrast between old-school Hollywood grace and new-age political belligerence, all playing out like some bizarre reality show that we can't seem to turn off. Picture this scene. Trump, presumably surrounded by half-eaten fast food, launches what he probably considers a devastating attack on George Clooney, calling him a fake movie actor. The sheer irony of a reality TV star questioning someone's acting credentials would be comedic gold if it wasn't such a perfect illustration of our political system's decay.
You know, our news anchors have really taken a...
Could be. Who'd play Sean Hannity? Maybe you should do it.
Yeah, how long will you be on Broadway?
9 years, they tell me.
Yeah, is that...
It's longer than I thought the run. No,
Yeah,
you know what? We just saw your acting
that
just
might
now.
be a night. Yes, thank you for including me in that.
You were very... Did you guys like his acting in that?
It's like watching a Chihuahua bark furiously at a Great Dane. Entertaining perhaps, but ultimately just noise. The real story here isn't even the attack itself. It's the stark contrast in how political discourse is handled by different generations of public figures. Clooney, looking like he just stepped out of a GQ spread, shows up on Kimmel's show and delivers what might be the most elegantly crafted response possible. I will if he does. 4 simple words that manage to say everything while saying almost nothing. It's like watching a master chef transform a McDonald's Happy Meal into a 5-star dining experience. The ingredients might be basic, but the execution is flawless. But here's where things get really interesting, and frankly, more than a little disturbing. There's an undercurrent of genuine concern beneath all this entertainment. When public figures start joking about being the one kid who doesn't have to outrun the bear, in this case federal persecution, we've moved beyond simple political theater into something far more sinister. The nervous laughter that accompanies these exchanges masks a deeply uncomfortable truth. We're watching the potential weaponization of government power being discussed in the format of late-night comedy. The media ecosystem that's sprung up around these exchanges is equally troubling. Every interaction gets packaged and repackaged for maximum engagement. Watch, Clooney destroys Trump with 4 words. The commentary becomes content, the content becomes clickbait, and somewhere along the way, we lose sight of the fact that we're talking about the fundamental operations of democracy, not the latest celebrity feud. What's particularly galling is how this entire spectacle has transformed political discourse into a form of performance art. Clooney, with his perfectly timed responses and million-dollar smile, represents one school of thought, the high road paved with wit and restraint. Trump, with his social media tantrums and playground insults, represents another, and we're all supposed to pick sides and cheer as if this were just another entertainment choice, rather than a serious discussion about the direction of our country. The most frustrating part? This isn't just about Trump and Clooney, it's about how we've allowed political discourse to be reduced to a series of viral moments and clapbacks. When a former president's attack can be likened to putting out a forest fire with a squirt gun, we should be asking ourselves some serious questions about the state of our political system. Instead, we're busy creating memes and waiting for the next episode in this endless political reality show. Perhaps the most telling aspect of this whole situation is how it's being consumed and processed by the public. We're not analyzing policy positions or debating the merits of different approaches to governance. Instead, we're rating comebacks like their Olympic diving scores and treating political threats like they're plot points in a drama series. The fact that we can seamlessly transition from discussing potential government persecution to Broadway debuts shows just how thoroughly entertainment and politics have become intertwined. In the end, what we're witnessing isn't just the decline of political discourse. It's the complete transformation of American democracy into a form of entertainment that would make the founders spin in their graves. And while we might appreciate the artistry of a well-crafted response like Clooney's, we should probably be more concerned about the fact that this is what passes for political dialogue in what's supposed to be the world's leading democracy.